Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to the episode of my F1 2019 career mode, episode number 97 today for the Hungarian GP in Season 5. You guys did miss the previous one, the German GP, then be sure to go check the one out before you see this one. Our car was a tad broken on that race weekend. Something felt off, especially for Russell's car. Obviously, you can see DNF, but ours certainly felt off as well the entire race. Qualifying was really poor, so we come to Hungary, hopefully with better fortunes as a circuit. Hungary's a pretty happy hunting ground for Ferrari, and last time out, last season for us at Hungary, it was a really great time because we got that super lucky race where we went really aggressive on the strategy, and then Hamilton, who was our teammate at the time, had the DNF from first place and gifted us the first place whilst we're quite some way back in second place. So fond memories from Hungary last season, and so hoping we can make some more potentially now this time around in season number 5. You can see our aero upgrade did come in, that one minor upgrade on the front, and that closes us up a little bit more to the kind of pack, if you will, but everyone is so close. So really, it's going to be fighting all the way down the field now. So it's going to be really great for the rest of the season because we're at the kind of halfway stage. I guess in real life, this would be the last Grand Prix before the summer break in the season, of course. So for that second half, if you will, of the season, things are just going to get even closer and closer, really, as everyone just gets even closer somehow, even though it was already close from the get-go at the start of the season. But let's now dive into Saturday then. It's going to be all sunny for the weekend, so no rain to talk about. Hopefully, we can just push the car flat out, and let's do that on the first time of asking in Saturday.
Good afternoon, race fans, and here we are again for qualifying at the Hungaroring. Who will have tuned the perfect setup for their car? We'll find out soon. It always looked like the kind of track that asks an awful lot of the rear tyres, such as the frequency of low-speed exits.
No matter how good a driver is at managing their throttle application to limit rear slip, they can't always overcome a car that's inherently bad at looking after its rear tyres. Here we have a lot of low-speed corner exits, which means a whole load of energy, heat and tyre wear.
Alright, so we go into Q1 then on our first final lap here. This is at the end of the lap across the line. It's not going to be too quick there. You can see P4, but by the time we get through to the second lap, it's actually only good enough for P15 then. So everyone actually set some slow lap times there at the very start and then kind of wound themselves up there as they go through the session, essentially. Obviously, the track gets faster and faster as the rubber gets laid down. So here we come now for our second fly. This is a much better lap, about nearly 8/10 gain there across the line. P5 then it is. And in the end, that P5, though, becomes P13 to my surprise, and I see George Russell, my teammate, way up in second place there, along with Perez and Leclerc. Obviously, there's a massive gap from Perez to Russell, so it seems like the McLarens are working well, at least in Q1, but good to see Russell right up there. Of course, he had a pretty torrid time last episode with an issue on his car for the entire time that hampered him, so it would be kind of nice to see him bounce back potentially for this GP and kind of show what he kind of, showed off at Silverstone, the British Grand Prix, which was some mad overtakes. But here we now go through on our flying lap in Q2 then, and across the line, and it's going to be P3 there. That was actually that first lap was actually on a scrub set of soft tires, so a used set that I used in Q1, and so this is the actual final fresh set I have available to me right now in Q2, and you can see the kind of it pays dividends to have the fresh tires there because it gains us instantly about 6/10. Even though particularly I didn't feel like that first lap, that second lap was any better than the first lap. I actually thought the first lap felt better, but just because we had fresh tires, it just gained us so much time. But you can see now both us Ferrari cars up into the top 10 shootout, into Q3. Russell and myself there closely matched. He's still beaten me in both sessions so far, so looks like he has the measure over me over one lap of a team around Hungary. I'm just not, I don't know, the car feels a little bit understeery in turn 1. I feel like I'm losing maybe at least a 10th or 2 there to him, and then potentially just in a few little minor areas here and there. But we now go through for our one and only flying lap in Q3, of course, because I've used all my other fresh tyres of soft tyres to get through into the top 10 shootout, so no point going on any other set, of course, because the set I'm starting on was the one I qualified in Q2 on, so I don't want to use that, of course. So we have this one flyer. We're at the end of this session. Qualifying is complete, so whatever we get here is where we're going to start. So we come through. It's been a pretty tidy lap. I don't think as good as the lap I did in Q2, to be honest, in terms of feeling, but across the line, and we're up in P7. Russell, though, P5. He does beat us and out-qualifies us for tomorrow's Grand Prix. So in all 3 sessions, Russell faster. So has the pace over one lap. I'm hoping I can maybe get a bit better race pace as per usual, and we'll take the fight to him and the rest of the field. But happy days already, after last episode, after calling out our car being slightly broken at the end of last episode, it appears, you know, the F1 world, or that our car has listened to us basically, and it doesn't seem too broken now as we're doing great. I don't know. Maybe it was just Germany. Maybe it's just been the last few tracks haven't just suited our car. Maybe Hungary just suits our car, maybe, which is kind of odd because Hungary's, you know, Monaco without the barriers essentially, high downforce circuit, and our car has been lacking downforce most of the season. Our kind of strengths have been the engine and the chassis. So I don't know, a bit odd, but I'm not going to question it too much. So we go into Sunday then a lot higher up the grid for both of us than we have experienced the last few episodes, and so hopefully we can have a really strong points finish here, and I don't know, maybe even try and aim for the podium. That'd be fantastic if we try and, you know, get a podium to try and mount a championship charge, of course. So let's go to the grid and see how we do.
We've seen some astonishing Grand Prix here over the years, haven't we? The drama of 2015 is a recent example. Jenson Button's first win on a wet track in 2006, or in 1997, Damon Hill's heartbreak in the Arrows after a late gearbox failure cost him what would have been the team's only ever victory. What a wonderful place this is to come racing today. 14 corners then for our drivers to navigate at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring today. It's 6 lefts and 8 rights around a lap here, with average speeds in the region of 120 miles per hour. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. So let's chat about Daniel Kvyat. They've had to change their gearbox. It's never a good start to a Grand Prix when right off the bat you have to contend with a grid penalty.
Well, at the end of the day, it's always better to take some pain now than parking it up halfway through the Grand Prix. Let's just hope they can put that new gearbox to good use and get the results they're looking for.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Great work from Lucas Weber yesterday sees him start from pole, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Gasly, Hamilton, George Russell and Verstappen, the engineer, Norris, Giovinazzi and Kevin Magnussen, Perez, Bottas, Romain Grosjean and Hülkenberg. Kvyat, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Raikkonen, Sebastian Vettel and Devon Butler. Ricciardo and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right, so in terms of the race strategy then ahead for this Grand Prix, it's going to be an interesting one. I really want to try the aggressive two-stop again that we did in Season 4. I know the only reason it worked out for us in Season 4 was because Hamilton had an engine failure as I was in second place. I think like a good 15 seconds back from him, so that's the only reason I won that GP. But even if I didn't win that one, it was still a great race to get myself up into second place from where I was stuck in the traffic in the first stint around, I think, P5 it was. So that leapfrogged us some good positions, being that quick at the end there. So gonna try that again. So that's the strategy of going from soft to the medium and really stringing out the medium tire. And if we can string out the first stint on the softs, that's going to be better because it will just make our life easier on the mediums. But I remember the Merc just really did not suit this circuit with the soft tires. Maybe the Ferrari might be kinder on its tires. Tire wear hasn't been too much of an issue for us this season so far, to be fair. So it might be a non-issue for us. But basically, yeah, try and stretch the mediums to the point where we can then go into another set of soft tires at the end of the Grand Prix and just push like a stabbed rat and try and get some last-minute overtakes done, basically, for some last glory. But last season, it did jump us up positions, engine failure aside, for our teammates. So I think I want to try that. I feel good about it. You know, qualifying's been a surprise, so the car seems to have some one-lap pace oomph. So maybe for the first time, maybe aggressive, you know, more pit stops will be the way to go about it, I think, and just hopefully don't hit too much traffic, really. So here we go, then. Let's hope it works out as we go towards 5 red lights for the final race before the summer break for Season 5. The Hungarian GP is underway, and it's a good start for us initially, but then bogging down so much in third and fourth gear. That McLaren of Norris shooting up on the right, and also the Haas of Giovinazzi. We're going to try and sail around the outside as Norris has a really bad lock-up on the front left that allows us to actually get back alongside him there, so undoes all his hard work off the line there with one lock-up into turn 1, and we're back up the order into P7, squeezing the Brit out, and ahead of us, Russell is going to overtake Verstappen. Great stuff. Looks like the car definitely has some decent pace on the heavy fuel, as Russell has got him and is now going to allow me to maybe overtake him as we send one to the inside. Close stuff there on the right. Eventually, Verstappen has to let go of the throttle pedal, otherwise he's going clean off track and is going to maintain the position only by being off track. So he lets me go, and we're up into P6 now. So 5 and 6 we run there at Ferrari. So pretty decent opening lap, actually, as we move through then the lap. So we're on to the end of lap number 2, onto 3. Still stuck in this train now. So this is kind of classic, the Hungarian GP in real life and in the game, unfortunately, even on heavy fuel. even in Season 5, with all the upgrades, it's still a DRS and a slipstream fest, basically, and so difficult to pass. It is very much Monaco, basically, without the barriers, like I said earlier, because it's just the same sort of thing, really. So, at the moment, I was already considering, yeah, this is the right way to go about it. This 2-stop's going to work out like last year. It's going to get us some positions, because at the moment, the only fighting that's going on is now Hamilton v Gasly. Hopefully, that might try and trigger some fighting. They're fighting so much that might allow myself and Russell to just peek in here. But you know what? I'm actually going to try and catch Russell napping here on the outside to the inside there, and he's going to give us the room. He has to give us the room there as we get the nose in. He's our teammate, of course, as well, so he gives us more respect than most, and we get the move. Very surprising, but there we go. You know, if you want some points and positions, you've got to try and go for it. Any opportunity you can, basically. I kind of hark back to a few moves at Silverstone, I think it was, that I made that I didn't intend to, and even the one at Germany, remember, where I just about held it against Sergio Perez. That wasn't a move I was trying to make, but there we go. And so now we send one to the inside at turn 1 of Pierre Gasly to get up into P4. The car is working well. Lap number 5, we're already past the point where I pit this time last season in Season 4 in the Mercedes car. So the tyre wear is looking a little bit better, although as I say that, ironically, on lap number 6, you can see the front tyres now are absolutely cooking. The front left tyre, brick orange on the internal carcass temperature, so it's time to come in on this lap. This was my planned pit stop lap anyway, so it's pretty much worked out to an absolute T here. Unfortunately, I couldn't overtake Hamilton on track, but I have a feeling we'll be seeing him later on in the Grand Prix. I have a good hunch that this is going to work out. You know, either we overtake him in stint 2 on the mediums, or we get him at the end of the Grand Prix on softs. And obviously Hamilton being the championship leader, that is, you know, a good juicy target to try and overtake, get some points off him. I think the lead of the race at the moment are Lucas Weber and Sergio Perez, so we'll see about them. Obviously, Norris is the McLaren that's actually in the championship fight, and Weber is as well. So the McLaren should, well, for their sake, should be the other way around. But unfortunately, Norris lagging behind and struggling for some pace, it would seem, at the beginning part of the race. But Weber doing a great job to try and close up then the gap in the championship if he goes on to win. But we now move on to lap number 7, on to lap number 8. This is actually purple second sector, red last sector though, which is a little bit odd. But we come through up into P13 now after that pit stop we made, and we're closing up to Kimi Räikkönen now, trying to hopefully pass him as quickly as we can and hopefully not have any kind of deja vu from what happened at the Austrian Grand Prix. We got held up so much by our old teammate of Season 1 and 2. No love lost between us two, clearly. But here we come. You can see just how quick we're gaining every single apex there. Just so much more speed and momentum we're bringing through to the table. Purple first sector. Here we go now, closing up. Can we maybe make a move on the outside here? We have a little look. Doesn't work out. We're going to maybe duck to the right. No, Räikkönen goes very defensive, so we're going to try and squeeze through here. It's a late move. Get the elbows out. Bit of contact made there, and we're up into P12. That was a little bit frosty, but the FI didn't say anything. There's no warning of collision there, so just about maybe on the fine limit as you can do. Räikkönen went defensive, but he gave me just enough room to work with and invite the move. But here we go now. We're making a move around the outside of Charles Leclerc up into P6 there, and so we've jumped Leclerc because he was ahead of us there. And you can look at the minimap. I think just you can see there, just at the very edge of the minimap, the turquoise dot is Hamilton. We've already jumped Hamilton and Leclerc. We've jumped them both, so I believe we're in a net P3, potentially, I think. So here we go now for the move on Nico Hülkenberg up into P5 of this GP, and there is Lucas Weber, the race leader, who is now stuck behind some traffic. Obviously, Hülkenberg's part of that traffic as well. All these guys who start on medium tyres and are still going long into the Grand Prix, we're catching up to them and having to overtake them, or in the case of myself, overtaking them. Weber, not so much right now. He's held up behind that car. I can't quite tell who it is at the moment there, but I'm thanking them for the sake of slowing Weber down, so much so that by the time we get through to the end of lap number 10 in Sector 3, we're right up the back of the race leader. But remember, he's on hard tyres, I'm on medium, so I've got one entire pit stop left to do. He does not. He's going to the end of the Grand Prix, so let's not get too excited yet. We still have a lot of work to do. Firstly, getting past him, which will be great, and then we need to try and stretch the legs and try and get away as much as possible and build that gap for that pit stop. But here we go, right tucked up behind the gearbox of Weber is going to be the Haas of Grosjean. There's a bit of a moving chicane as we go round the outside of both of them there. A little bit far on the exit. I wasn't too sure where Grosjean's front wing was, and he actually still is there on the exit, but we keep it through up into P3 now, and all that's left to overtake is Valtteri Bottas in second place, and I believe Sergio Perez is in first on the medium tyres. So Actually, I think that was a correction I need to make. I think when I said earlier it was Weber leading, I think behind him in second place must have been then Leclerc, then Hamilton. I think Perez is part of this pack that is on medium tyres there, so just a clarification there. So actually both McLarens then would seem to be struggling, because Norris was behind me in like P7 or 8 at the start of the race, and Perez, well, clearly he was even further back, because the only reason he's in first place now is because he's yet to pit in this GP. So both McLarens, although technically one of the best cars at the moment in the season on paper on the R&D chart, not looking too great at the Hungaroring there, but you saw it was very easy pickings, overtaking Valtteri Bottas then, and we actually start to close up now to a lapped car. This is Sergio Perez. You can see his dot is just up ahead, a few seconds ahead, so we were closing up on him, but he's actually now going to come in to the pit lane there. So we will now take the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix for the first time proper, but it's so long to go. We're only lap 17, it's a long GP, 35 laps. We're only just about halfway done, and we've still got a lot of work to do. Weber behind me is about 8 or 9 seconds back, I think, and we need to stretch that, because obviously a pit stop is way more than 8 or 9 seconds. Obviously, I don't know if we're aiming for the win necessarily. We're just trying to do the best job we can at the moment. I think if I made a pit stop, it would put me out in about P3 or 4, I think, which is literally what happened last season, if you remember. We were around P5 in Season 4. We did this strategy, and it got us up into P3, or P2, I think, or yeah, it eventually got us up into P2. So that's why I wanted to do this strategy, because that's the exact same thing that's going to happen today, is I'm going to make that jump, and either way, I'm either going to jump people having already overtaken them before this pit stop, or I'm going to overtake them once we get onto the soft tyres. So once again, I think this is showing, at least in the later seasons of career mode on this game, the two-stop at Hungary can be very, very powerful if you're pushing hard enough on the mediums, and you can stretch them to make the soft tyre work at the end, of course. So with that, whilst I've been chatting away about where we stand then with this strategy, the gap is now 13 seconds there, you can see, to Weber. So I think this will comfortably put us out then in P3 behind Perez and Weber on the podium. But Daniel Ricciardo is out of the Grand Prix, and now the full safety car has been called out. And at the perfect time. This was literally the next lap. Lap 25 was when I was going to start considering the pit stop for soft tyres, because these mediums are feeling pretty second-hand already here. But that is now perfect timing. We'll get a free pit stop under the safety car. I don't think there's enough of a gap, though, to Weber to jump them to get into to stay in first place. So we're not going to do an insane mega finesse of everyone. We'll still come out behind Weber and Perez. But I had a bit of leeway. I wasn't sure how close we were going to be to Perez in P3, or how close I was going to be to P4 Leclerc, I think. This way, this guarantees us, I think, we will be in third. And guarantees us, of course, we'll be right up behind Perez, as everyone else will be, because everyone's going to bunch up now under the safety car. But here we go now. It's actually quite close there, you know. Maybe, you know, give it maybe 2 more laps, so I was pushing a little bit harder. Then the safety car came out. I might have jumped Perez out right there. But no, we're going to be out in P3 now, and you can see Leclerc P4. But you see that gap between Perez and Leclerc. Obviously, I think I would have been a lot further back from Perez had the safety car not come out. So I think without this safety car, we would have been just slotted in for a guaranteed third place. That's probably the best I could have got. But now, with this safety car, we're going to come through on lap 26 now. It's the restart. It's anyone's game now. Well, it's not, but it's my game, I think, because I'm on the soft tyre. Perez is on hards, Weber on hards, Leclerc on hards behind me, and they're worn hards. They've been on these hard tyres since lap 7 or 8. So this is my race to lose. I think if I don't get into first place, we fumble the bag big time here. So here we go now on the restart. It's game time. This is going to be a very exciting restart and next lap of the GP. Lap 27 of the Hungarian GP. Things are about to get very, very tasty. We weave a little bit in this straight to try and warm up the tyres into turn 1. I don't need to, you know, pounce straight away. So that's why I was quite patient there on the restart. Didn't want to try and make any unnecessary dive into turn 1. To be fair, I was too far back on the restart. But here we go now, creeping through already, nearly pushing Perez through this corner due to the soft tyre versus the hards. And these are worn soft tyres, I want to add. They're used soft tyres, because I've used all my soft tyres in qualifying. So even with used softs, we can try and make a move. Here we go, round the outside of Sergio Perez there. We were so close to the grass on the left there. We're being pushed off onto the curb, but we make it work. Dive round the outside, lock up at the front right there, but we're just about to slow down the car in time for the chicane, and we're up into second place. But now we're going to keep going here in sector 2. You can see the front end is so snappy. It's like a qualifying lap almost, because we're on lower fuel, remember, as well. This is just fantastic. The car feels fantastic. and we close up now to Lucas Weber. Patience is a virtue, though. Once again, not going to make anything rash decisions. No dive to the inside of the second last corner here. Just going to keep it winding through. You can see, though, I'm making sure he bloody well knows I'm in his mirrors, basically. You can see there as we kind of weave through again, and he definitely can see the flash of red in his mirrors. But here we come through the final corner. Open DRS. Oh, not DRS. Actually, I forgot about that. It's a force of habit to say that. But no, just overtake mode and rich mix. Even better, a natural overtake down the inside there. It's a massive lunge from us. We just slow the thing down. Lock up on the front left. I think Weber tries to switch back, but no, he doesn't get it. And that is up into first place of the Hungarian GP. And so we come through on lap 35. The tyres start to go off a little bit there. So Perez overtook Weber. So the McLaren in second place. He actually closed up to me a little bit there, but it's no use. We're going to come through for an amazing second win of the season. Our first win in a long, long while, because the win at Baku seems so long ago. We win the Hungarian GP. Absolutely fantastic stuff.
Fantastic. You've won the Grand Prix.
Ferrari have really pulled it out of the bag today. It's a great win. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari.
How have we managed to do this, boys? How on earth have we finessed the bag twice in a row in Season 4, we did the two-stop strategy. It got us into second place. I was ready to hold station there, and then Hamilton's engine popped, and I got gifted the win. This time round, I was ready to settle down for P3, probably the max I could have hoped for there, because Perez and Weber were going to be too far, and then the safety car comes out to bunch us up, and then bang, we can overtake them and get into first place. Absolutely amazing stuff there. For the championship, to my surprise, actually, that doesn't affect the championship too much. I still have quite a massive gap to Hamilton. That's how far back I was. So maybe this, I really hope maybe this can now be the kickstart for the championship bout. You know, so far, I've really not thought we're in the championship hunt. We're still outsiders to it. It's really between Hamilton and Weber right now. Norris is kind of there, but he's lagging behind a little bit. But maybe for us, hopefully, now we can build on this, and this can be the start of us making the challenge, climbing back up, and closing up to Weber and Hamilton, and making this a proper three-way fight. Maybe if Norris also wants to jump up here, could be a four-way fight. Hopefully so, because that would be immense for the end of this season. But what a crazy race. Again, Hungary is fast becoming one of my favourite races to do on career mode. And it used to be one of my most hated ones, because it used to be such a long... I mean, it still is a very long GP. It gets quite boring in the middle if you're not fighting cars and you're just driving to a delta time. But 2 seasons in a row, the end of it, the last 10 laps have been worth... The last 10 laps have been worth the agony and maybe the boredom in the middle of the Grand Prix, because the last 10 laps of the last 2 seasons have been absolutely electric and just such an insane feeling when we come through to win the GPs like that. Insane stuff. So in terms of upgrades, we're going to go ahead and purchase an ultimate front downforce upgrade. That's going to come in at a perfect time for the Singapore Grand Prix, so that'll be a tasty timing there for that. We had to do it in the end, so I may as well do it now. I could have bought other upgrades that came in faster. That could have helped us out immediately in the next few races, but you know, the car felt great today, so here's hoping when we go to Belgium we've got the same sort of pace. If we do, then we can afford to wait till Singapore for this front downforce upgrade. And of course at Italy we don't need the downforce upgrade, because we don't need that much downforce at Monza, so it's all good in my opinion in that regard. So all good, things are looking on the up. That's such a change from last episode, saying the car's broken, something's wrong, to here, but here we are. Never say never in Formula 1. You just don't know what's going to change, but absolutely amazing stuff. Guys, if you did enjoy that race and episode, be sure to smash that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, subscribe for weekly full-on content. I've been aarava. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.